So every president has said for almost 70 years, we're going to get out of the Middle East and kind of, whether it's deal with the Soviet Union, deal with the other flashpoints. And every president has managed to get sucked back into the region, the most consistently volatile part of the world. The tragedy is the United States is leaving at a time that the Middle East has never been in worse shape. There are more failing or failed or fragile states in the region than at any time since World War II. When you look at whether it's Lebanon, Syria, Iraq's in terrible trouble, Libya, Yemen, other countries, Egypt, led by a dictator. The Arab Spring has disappeared across the region. Tunisia's in trouble. And of course, MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, is the crown prince in Saudi Arabia and is engaged in kind of murders whenever he doesn't like somebody. So,
sounds like a good time for the Americans to get out.
Well, sure, but there's one big issue looming out there, and that's Iran. And we can't walk away from the Middle East until we resolve the issue that is represented by nuclear weapons, but really involves now so much more.
Now, you recently met with the Iranian foreign minister. That's why you came to New York. This is your first time sitting down with him. So why don't you give me first impressions?
Look, this is a regime that is going to be much harder line. It's much more nationalistic. It's looking at the neighborhood. It doesn't want to reach out to the West as much. It claims that it's managed to stabilize its economy. It claims that its resistance economy, as it calls
That's what they call it, yeah.
will survive. Maybe not thrive, but it will survive, even without a nuclear deal. I think at the end of the day, they want a nuclear deal. But again, I think we are missing in many ways the threat from Iran. I think there's something very different that's happened, particularly during the Trump era, that the Iranians felt so pressured and so cornered that they worked on their missile program, they worked on their drones. And Iran today has the largest missile arsenal in the Middle East. Its missiles can reach deep into China and Russia, as far west as Greece and as far south as Somalia and Ethiopia.
And they launched an attack against Saudi Arabia, their largest refinery, which was quite staggering at the time. That, of course, they've been not in compliance with the United Nations Security Council resolutions on ballistic missiles for quite some time. It's part of the reason why, even with the Iranian deal, we still have sanctions on Iran. Did you get the sense that they would be willing to negotiate on any of those issues, leaving aside the nuclear deal itself?
Well, it's the missile issue, it's the intervention in the region, their involvement, meddling, whatever.
Support of terrorism, yeah, all this, yeah.
I don't think that there is any mechanism to compromise. Iran's position on missiles is, okay, you want us to limit ours, then you limit everybody's in the regions, including Israel. And that's a non-starter for Israel. Yeah. So we're not going to go any place on any of these issues. And the danger is that we've gotten to a place with Iran that it will still be a threat. And with the resistance alliance it has built with its allies in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Yemen, they now have missile arsenals from Iran that can hit Israel. Iran never has to lift a finger. It's trained engineers and scientists in each of these countries. Iran has the most effective alliance in the Middle East. We don't. They do. And that's something they've built up steadily over the last 2 decades, but particularly during the Trump era. What it wants in the region is a sense of, I think, security, and that it doesn't have to face the kind of war it did in the 1980s when Saddam Hussein invaded one of the Middle East's longest and costliest wars, the use of chemical weapons every year when the world didn't care, that Iran developed a paranoia. It's still a revolutionary environment, remember, and revolutions are always paranoid. We're not to that period of normalcy. I think the Iranians have tried, but there's always been this conflict, most of all, with the United States, and they've never gotten to that point. The revolutionaries are also dying out. They're in their 70s and 80s, and many of them are long gone. They're trying to cater to a younger generation. And so ensuring the continuation of the Islamic Republic is part of the goal. And that they have to feel they're not under pressure, whether it's from Israel or Saudi Arabia and its Sunni allies in the Gulf.
In terms of American foreign policy priorities, where would you put Iran today? Is Iran, in your view, a first-order national security concern for the Americans?
It's a short-order priority. It's one they want to get through, get back to the JCPOA, get back to where they were so that Iran is not 2 or 3 months away from developing enough fuel to fuel a bomb, and then move on. I think this is the one that it's kind of the last issue in the Middle East, and then let the Middle East stew for itself and sort itself out. I think there will be profound concern about Iran's military capabilities, its mischief in the region, but in terms of trying to sort that out, that's one that's a tangible achievement. Check that off the list. You got the nuclear deal, and then you can move on to the climate in China and the things that where Biden really cares about personally.
So they got out of Afghanistan, as ugly as it may have been. They need to get the JCPOA, the Iranian nuclear deal, done, and then on to the rest of their agenda for the rest of the administration.
I think that's where they're going.